guys, it's Sarah and I'm here to do a review of Jane Steele written by Lyndsay Faye. This book was sent to me by the publisher Putnam Books, so thank you very much for sending this to me, and I really enjoyed this book. This was published March 22nd of this year, so this is currently available. And I ended up giving this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. This is a historical fiction set in the 1800s, and it has been kind of marketed as a Jane Eyre retelling. However, after I read it, I realized it's more of a Jane Eyre inspired. The beginning of every chapter has a quote from Jane Eyre, which is really cool, and the character of Jane Eyre is mentioned a lot by our main character in here, Jane Steele, because Jane Eyre is kind of a hero of hers. It's her favorite book. She compares herself to Jane Eyre a lot and kind of thinks, what would Jane Eyre do in this situation? So I don't think it's necessarily retelling, but it's more inspired. This book has also been compared to the Dexter series by Jeff Lyndsay, which is one of my favorite series as well. And I definitely picked up on that because Jane Steele is basically a vigilante serial killer. When this book starts out, we meet Jane as a little 9-year-old girl, and her mother ends up committing suicide, which leaves Jane in the care of her aunt, who despises her, and a cousin who likes her a little too much. And her cousin becomes her first victim. After her cousin's death, which is ruled an accident, Jane asks her aunt to send her to a very prestigious school that trains young girls to become governesses. As she's attending the school, she meets a girl named Rebecca Clark, who becomes her best friend, and she also encounters the headmaster of the school, who puts on a front of being very religious and very right all the time, and he knows everything. However, he's incredibly abusive, and Jane Steele finds a way to fix that. A few years after leaving the school, Jane kind of finds herself at a crossroads in her life. She's not sure where she wants to do or where she wants to go. She's kind of stuck. She has encountered quite a few people who have made her life pretty difficult, and she is just trying to figure out what in the world she wants to do. She has no clue. She ends up coming across an ad for a governess that is needed at a house. It ends up being the house that she grew up in, and she was very confused when she saw this ad because she wasn't sure that the person who was living in there actually inherited it, because she was under the assumption that it was going to be her house someday. Come to find out, her aunt has passed away and has left the house to somebody, and it wasn't Jane. So she's trying to decide if she wants to try to apply for this governess job, which she is qualified for, but she's trying to decide if she wants to go back to her childhood home, basically. She decides that she's going to apply. She applies under a different name to kind of hide her identity in case anyone is still around the house or around the area that would remember her from her childhood. She doesn't want to be recognized by anybody, especially since her cousin's death. She's still kind of afraid that someone's going to recognize her and kind of put the pieces together and figure out that she actually killed him. When she gets to her childhood home, she discovers a very loving and diverse family who's living there currently, and she is welcomed with open arms by all of them. Of course, there are secrets and there are mysteries that Jane is left finding that she needs to figure out about this family and about their background, and she is basically just trying to figure all that out while she is living with them and starting to pretty much trust them and wanting to be with them for the rest of her life. There is also a very swoon-worthy love interest and definite sexual tension between Jane and her love interest, and it was definitely there and very present and definitely swoon-worthy. So overall, this took me a little bit of time to get into it, to the point where I was completely invested and didn't want to put it down. It took me maybe like 30% to get into it like that, but once I did, I was in it, and I could not put it down after that. I went through it really quickly. I really enjoyed the romance between Jane and Charles. I thought that their character dynamic was wonderful together, and he has a really great sense of humor, which really comes out and kind of puts everyone at ease, including the reader. I also enjoyed the fact that throughout this book, it seems more of Jane writing down her story for us, because every once in a while she'll say, "Reader, this happened," and then, "Reader, I felt like this." So it's like she's talking to you almost, and I really like that. And it's not present constantly, but it just pops up every so often as a reminder that she's telling you her story. And I really thought that was unique, and I like that a lot. From what I hear, Jane Eyre is the same way. However, I've never read Jane Eyre, so don't quote me on that. But if you've read it, you might know. So yeah, let me know. Let me know in the comments if you read Jane Eyre, if she says read her like that a lot too, because I heard that she did. I just haven't read it, so I don't know. So overall, I really, really enjoyed this book more than I thought I was going to. I'm trying to get more into historical fiction, and this was a great one for me to read because I really just enjoyed it so much. And if you guys want to pick up a copy of this, I will leave the Amazon link down below, so you can definitely check it out. But I highly recommend it, especially if you love historical fiction and you're a fan of Jane Eyre. I think you would really enjoy this one as well. And yes, so thank you again, Putnam, for sending this to me. I enjoyed it immensely, and I am definitely looking forward to seeing the movie adaptation for this because I have been hearing recently that this has already been picked up. It's still in development, so nothing has been announced as far as casting or anything like that goes. But yes, so if this gets made into a movie, I'm definitely going to want to watch it and see it. And yes, I really enjoyed it. So I hope you guys will check it out too. And that's going to be it for me. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you again soon. Bye.